What's up, YouTube? Welcome to ExceedTheHype.com. It's your boy Lucrecio coming at you with another video, alright? Today's video is entitled, The Cleveland Cavaliers Are Dropping the Ball, because that's exactly what's going on. The Cleveland Cavaliers are dropping the ball. When you have a player like LeBron, once in a lifetime, once in a generation, a Mount Rushmore type of player, you got to make sure you keep your foot on the gas when it comes to championships, right? When you look at the Lakers of yesteryear, and you look at Magic Johnson, when they had Kareem, they had James Worthy, and even when they had Shaquille O'Neal and they had Kobe Bryant and all these great players, and when you look at the Boston Celtics when they had Bird and McHale and Parrish and Dennis Johnson, you had all these, when these teams have the talent and they have the momentum to win championships, they do not play around, okay? They do not take their foot off the gas. They keep the pressure on to try to win it every year if possible. Now, when you look at Cleveland, they're just not doing that. They did not improve this offseason thus far. There's one more guy out there who could still help them out if they were to get him. But as of right now, they did not improve this offseason, really. If you look at the Western Conference right now, everybody is serious. It's serious business to close the gap between them and the Golden State Warriors. If you look at the Spurs got better. When you look at Minnesota went out and got everybody they could to close that gap between them and the Golden State Warriors. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they went out and got whoever they could. They got Paul George. They got Patrick Patterson to help. They drafted well. They're getting talent together to try to knock off this beast that's Golden State. Everybody is playing for keeps. Everybody is serious in their pursuit of Golden State, except for Cleveland. Cleveland is the only team out here playing around that's in the contender conversation. And the only team that's not taking it 100% serious and trying to get everybody they can to compete. Now, why do I say that? Well, sure, somebody has to be out there making phone calls. They just can't get the deal done. Well, why can't they get the deal done? This is the same team when they had David Griffin, who was able to turn the remains of Mike Dunleavy into Kyle Korver and a second-round pick or whatever into Kyle Korver. This is the guy who brought in the big Mozgov guy. He brings in players. He makes deals out there. I guess he has good relationships or whatever with all these teams, but he's able to get deals. I would venture to say he probably has gotten everybody that LeBron has asked him for up to this point. The guy's making deals. When you got somebody like that, because it's hard to find a good GM anyway, when you got somebody like that, you don't play around with them. Pay the man the money. They failed to do that. They lost their GM. They lost the GM at the worst possible time. There's rumors that he also had a deal for Jimmy Butler. Also was in talks for Paul George. Had stuff working and he lost his job in the midst of trying to better the team. That's not taking it seriously. And they didn't even have anybody to replace him. They're talking about Chauncey Billups, somebody who had never even run a front office before. He's never run a front office, but he's about to run the front office of LeBron James or whatever for the first time in the midst of, going to the finals and a year removed from winning the finals. That's not taking this seriously. That's dropping the ball. All right? When you talk about the off-season acquisitions they got, Jeff Green is the one I like because he's a wing player. It's a move that makes sense because he's the type of player who they're going to need in the future. And that's a move that makes sense. Cedi Osman, okay. They like him. He's a player from the Euro League. We don't know what he's going to do as of yet. And then when you talk about Jose Calderon, the big free agent signing on day one of free agency, to me that signing just didn't even make any sense. So once again, this is all stuff that's a proof that they're not taking it seriously. And when you have a player like LeBron James who wants to compete for a title and as well should, because he's talented enough to compete for a title every year, you got to take it more seriously than that. I personally don't understand what's going on. I understand there was possibly a deal for Paul George that Dan Gilbert worked out with the other owners, but how many deals get worked out with owners? Usually it's front office, it's GM or whatever to GM. It's not owner to owner necessarily. So they really need to, and up to this point, it's been over a month. Up to this point, they still have not signed a GM yet. It's Dan Gilbert out there trying to figure out deals and whatnot. That's not taking it seriously. As of right now, and it's not over yet. The offseason is not over yet at this point. They can still redeem themselves. There's one more guy out there who could really make a big difference, who they could potentially get, and who says he only wants to go to that team, and who's also playing pickup games with Kyrie Irving at UCLA. There's still one guy they could possibly go after to redeem themselves or whatever and get out of just completely dropping the ball this offseason. And that's ultimately Carmelo Anthony, who also wants to go to the Rockets. Ultimately, this offseason would have been such a failure if they don't at least get Carmelo Anthony to add to that team to figure out if that would be a better matchup for the Warriors. The consequences for dropping the ball at this point in time, after winning a championship and losing and going to the finals 3 times, the consequence is losing everything, literally. This season, a disappointing postseason, which will occur because they don't have the players to win a championship, in my opinion, unless somebody gets hurt on Golden State or whatever, will result in losing everything. Kyrie Irving has already said he doesn't want to be involved with the Cavs if LeBron is not there. LeBron is showing signs after signs after signs that, hey, look, dude, I've done it before, I will leave. Whether it's the Lakers, whether it's the Spurs, whether it's Miami Heat, which the Miami Heat don't make any sense, but that's been in the news, that he will leave again, as he should. One thing I did not understand, after they won the championship, he did sign a 3-year contract for $100 million, I guess because he wanted to be the highest player in the highest paid player in the league. I didn't understand that, because up to this point he was just doing one year in, 1 year out or whatever, and maximizing his salary and stuff that way, and guaranteeing the flexibility, which makes a whole lot of sense if you're dealing with a front office that you don't 100% trust. So anyway, long story short, he signed a 3-year deal instead of a 1 in, 1 out. And now look at the situation he's in. He has to still play this season even if Dan Gilbert doesn't get it together. So we'll see what happens with the Cavs. We'll see if they get Carmelo. I don't know what other types of trades, what other types of players are out there. I thought Paul George was the guy. If this is an arms race between the Cavs and Golden State Warriors, I thought Paul George was the guy to get. They didn't get him. We'll see if they can snatch Carmelo. If they don't snatch Carmelo, I don't think, unless they face somebody different in the finals this year. This is 2 years in a row Kevin Love. Even though I'm not trying to place the blame all on Kevin Love, but this is 2 years in a row. It's just a bad matchup for him. This is 2 years in a row he was ineffective, mostly in the finals. And ultimately, if you want to win, you need that 3rd star. And if it's not Kevin Love, it has to be somebody else. All right. But they're dropping the ball. They need to get it together. They need to handle their business and put pressure on the Warriors to win to try to win the championship. And stay competitive or whatever, because they're being outpaced by a lot of other teams. Even the Celtics worked hard and added and got a lot better this offseason. The Cavs are the only team, elite team or whatever, that have not, improved this offseason. All right. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, or whatever the case may be. Leave your comments, subscribe, like the video. All right. See you next time.